together, hoist the colors high. Party mateys, it's time. It's time. I'm prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and it's time to be a fan. As today we're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, shiver me timbers. Hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the clock. Let's talk about the Buccaneers, and let's be frank. I thought we were gonna suck. Let me see. I thought the Falcons were full of it. I thought the Panthers were that, and I thought the Saints were gonna win the division hands down. And when I heard we got Baker Mayfield, I was like, oh boy. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought this was gonna be the end of everybody. You know, after this year, the way the Bucs were gonna end it, you know, we were going to get a young quarterback in the draft. We were going to let Evans go. We were going to say goodbye to everybody. We were going to say goodbye to a lot of players, and it didn't happen. We kept the core. We kept the captain. We won the division again. We won a playoff game again. Baker Mayfield is back again. Evans stays a Buccaneer a little longer. Again, Levante comes back to himself as a captain for the young linebacker, which I'm so happy he came back. We have Winfield and a big con. Now, we did lose some players. We couldn't keep everybody, and I get that. And I'm really excited for this year's draft because it feels like whoever they get, a corner, a pass rusher, an offensive lineman, especially interior, it just feels like, yes. Now, as a defensive-minded person, I really want a corner. Since Carlton Davison's gone, and I really feel like a cornerback was not that great because Jamil didn't keep getting hurt. So I feel like a corner, and there's one like Dajin Cooper, the Iowa Hawkeye corner. I really want him in Tampa. If I can have a wish, I want him because of his return capabilities. Just screams like a wild card, and that will really help us with our team. And that's just me speaking out loud. But we won the division. We beat the Saints. The Saints beat us. We beat the Falcons. The Falcons beat us. We beat the Panthers. Twice. Sloppy, but we won. We won the division. We win. We scared the line for about half a second, but we are given acknowledgement, not respect, acknowledgement. And some of the commentators that I really, really hate and find very obnoxious were supporters of Baker Mayfield. That even I was thinking, you know, if we can just keep Baker Mayfield and we make the rest of the team younger and better, maybe, just maybe, we don't need Baker Mayfield to save us. Just not to screw it up. And sometimes that's okay. Not everyone wants a Mahomes. Everybody wants a Burrow. Everybody wants a Josh Allen. But remember this. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Chris Chandler went to a Super Bowl. Remember, there are quarterbacks that have won and been to Super Bowls, and they are nowhere near considered the top 10 quarterback in their generation of playing. So we don't need a Mahomes or a Burrow. We want that. But if you have a good team, that's kind of why I feel about some NBA teams. We don't need LeBron. We need good players and a good core. I'd rather take a bunch of B- players to make an A+ team than get one A+ player and a bunch of C's, and then we get a B grade. So Baker, maybe, just maybe, it's enough. Then he could suck, and then we go back to square one. But it doesn't matter. I just feel that there's something there. And I trust in Todd Bowles that his defense will get us there next year. We cut a lot of fat. We cut a lot of unnecessary, and sometimes it hurts. Some of them hurt. Devin White's gone, and that hurt me. I liked him. But then I started looking at the numbers, looking at the stats, looking at his performance, and I was like, just let him go. I don't want to see him go, but let him go. Just tell him to go. I don't want him to go. He went to Philadelphia, which I'm like, shit. Oops. Trying to swear too much, but yeah. Buccaneers' best game to me was Week 16 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, locally, there's a bunch of local Tampa shows in the area. When the Bucs beat the Jaguars, the big argument, or the big one person forgot. I really hate to forget it. I think it's called Fire Them Cannon Podcast. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. People report. I don't know, but one of those YouTube videos that I like a lot locally in Tampa, they put a post on X that said, "Argument closed. Baker Mayfield's our quarterback. Let's stop the debate that maybe not. Let's just say he's our quarterback, and let's focus on getting better offensive linemen, better pass rushers, better corners. Let's just focus. Baker is here, okay? He's not costing us losses, and let's be thankful for that, and let's move on." Hell, Jared Goff has rejuvenated his career in Detroit. I don't think Detroit cutting him off anytime soon. Hell, the Bucs could be the Detroit Lions of next year, where they had a new quarterback, not a lot of expectation. He did well until the moment, let's keep him, and then next year they did better. Maybe, I don't know. I have a lot of fantasy and dreams. But the Buccaneer game against Jacksonville, 30-0, complete domination on all sides, running the ball, pass rushing, sacking, turnovers, Baker playing beautifully. That to me was, and granted, it was against Jacksonville that, Trevor Lawrence was hurt. Let's not say he wasn't. He wasn't 100%, but it's like, it's still in the Jaguars. It's still Trevor Lawrence. They had expectation, unlike we did, that some people thought this game as, this is Jacksonville game to get back, but Tampa Bay came in and like in the first minute just threw a major uppercut that for the rest of the game, the Jaguars were just dizzy, and every time they tried to block, boom, another hook. Boom, another one. Boom, an uppercut. And then we just jab and jab and jab and jab. And then when you're like, okay, I got the rhythm, it's like, an uppercut again. Hadouken. Now, I'll admit I kind of wanted to be a shutout. 2 touchdowns at the end made me feel a little sour. It's like, But trust me, I was just like, hey, Tampa Bay, the Bucs are finally ready to play. Yeah. Oh, I was happy. Oh, it was happy, joy, happy, joy. Oh, it was at home. It was, I think it was a 4 o'clock game, so we got them over like a prime time little segment. It was a battle between Florida, even though no one cares about that except for us Florida people. But it was great. Happy, joy. We beat the Jaguars. Great game. Our worst game was next week against New Orleans. You guys know I don't like New Orleans. And you guys know I feel like they're like the nightmare creeps they keep preparing every single time. That every time the NFL schedule comes out, I always look, when do we play the Saints? Do we play them early enough that we don't have to worry about them? Or worse, we play them in the beginning of the season, the first 4 weeks, and then we play them at the last 4 weeks of the season. I hate that. Because 2 things are going to happen. You're going to get a very fresh and vibrant Saints team that's going to kick your ass because you haven't got your stuff together in the beginning of the season, because I believe it's 4 weeks of preseason. Or they're going to be super aggressive or super in sync with themselves that they're going to smoke you, whether you're at home or away, to the point where it's like, well, we're not going to end the season on a 10-game win streak because we got the Saints in December and we have to play them. And the Saints are either desperate for a playoff spot or they're at 13 wins already and they're just dominating by 40. That's the Saints to me. The Saints are the constant hurricane for the Buccaneers. Yes, pirate pun and shipwrecks and yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. But yeah, the Saints game, I watched it. And it felt like the Saints did every trick they could. I think it was Johnson, the tight end of the Saints. I think it was Dame Johnson. I'm trying to find Dame. I'm gonna give the guy respect. Jay Johnson. Juwan Johnson had a game in that one. He had 8 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown, but honestly, it felt like he had 200 yards. This guy was just, and he was making all these fingertip catches. It just felt like it was the Saints game. And the Bucs at some time, that's why people scare about the Bucs. They will look like they're like, guys, wake up! The game already started, 3rd quarter, down by 13. Let's go. So to me, it's the Saints. 2, it kind of hurt us because there was a small part thinking, we beat New Orleans, we rest our players against Carolina. No, we got to play Carolina. And then in the Carolina game, I was like, guys, come on. 9-0. It's too scary, man. It's scary. It's so freaking scary. Why you do that to me? But we won the division, won a playoff game, and it made that loss not as painful. But trust me, those next 2 weeks I was miserable. I was like, Carolina's gonna find some way they're gonna beat us, like a 13-12 game, and the Saints were dominating against Atlanta to the point it was not even a contest. I was like, the Saints are gonna do it. My Christmas is gonna be ruined. Oh boy, but it didn't happen. Happy days, smooth sailing. See you next year. Now the confidence for the Bucs is very good, so I don't feel that stress. But now I'm getting that feeling of, what's that? Expectations. No. I don't want expectations. Put it on the Falcons. Put it on the Saints. Don't put it on the Bucs right now. I don't want expectations. Shit. Sorry, I'm really trying not to curse too much on these channels because I don't want you two to hurt me. So, your MVP, the Buccaneers MVP. Now, this was a tough one. One, I was between two players. One on offense and one on defense. One, proven time and time again for 10 plus years why he's probably one of the most underappreciated wide receiver in the NFL, in Mike Evans. And then there's another man, a young man, a nice man, a fan that I would love to be friends with, who got snubbed by the NFC Pro Bowl voting booth. And his stats was so insurmountable you'd think he was a creative player in a game of Madden. And since I'm a defensive guy, and I feel like a lot of games, you have him forcing fumbles, getting turnovers, and getting sacks, and forcing turnovers. I cannot ignore this man anymore. So, put your hands together for the Buccaneers MVP, number 2 in tackles, your man from the University of Minnesota, Antoine Winfield Jr. is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers MVP. And by the time it's recording, I am hearing at 25 years old, he is about to get the biggest contract to make him the highest paid safety in the NFL. This man is 5'9", but he plays like a 6'10" giant. He's barely 200 pounds, but he plays like a tank. He went to University of Minnesota, which I know is really cold. I actually want to go to Minnesota for the theater programs, but besides the point. This man had 76 solo tackles, 6 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and 12 pass defense. And he did not make the Pro Bowl. Mr. Baker did. Buddha Baker made it. To the point that there is a graphic which hopefully I can find and show to you in this video, but not to remind you of what Antoine Winfield went through and how he didn't get snubbed. Now, he got All-American on, but he cared about that more. He won a Super Bowl in his rookie season, and he can be a Buccaneer for life. He is joining the ranks of young, great defensive players, to me, where I feel like he is taking the position of Rondé Barber, one of the greatest defensive backs in Buccaneer history, a Hall of Famer. I love the man. He's dressed sharp. Antoine Winfield is answering the call, the same way Levante David answered the call in the replacement of the linebacking core of Derek Brooks' departure. Levante is the captain of the linebacking core. Vita Vea is the captain of that defensive line core, and Antoine Winfield is taking the control of the cornerback and DB department. We have our modern day captains from legends of Barber, Sapp, and Brooks, and now we have them with Winfield, David, and Vita. I am so proud of this gentleman. I am so proud. So, the grade for the Buccaneers, a B+. They won the division. They won a playoff game. I can't give them an A because some of their losses and even some of their wins were terrible, but they won. And a lot of it were, thank you, Kirk Cousins, for those turnovers. Thank you, Desmond for fumbling the goal line. Thank you, Carolina, for playing bad and not giving a single. Thank you. We got 3 or 4 wins based on other teams just playing worse than us, and we just did enough. And then there were some games we should have won, but we never showed up for some reason, even though we were attending the game ourselves. So, B+. They surpassed expectations. They won the division for the 3rd time. No one in the NFC South has ever done it since the creation of the NFC South. Baker Mayfield's back. Evans back. We got a lot of good captain players back. And this year just feels like whoever we get, In Todd Bowles, I trust. Defense wins championships, and he will prove it again. I'm not going to say they win the Super Bowl next year. I'm not saying I'm not going that far, but I'm just saying do not sleep on the Bucs next year. Yes, Kirk Cousins there and Derek Carr's in the Carolina, but do not sleep on them next year. B+. And that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's the whole NFC South. Oh, where are my captain's gown? So, now that we have both the Souths done, we have 4 more divisions to go to. And, well, the West, both sides, San Francisco and Kansas City, both went to the Super Bowl. So that means we're going to the North. For winter is coming. And what team we talk about the North? Why, let's talk about the team that had probably the biggest embarrassment. So we're going back to the AFC, and we're going to the AFC North. And we're going to start off with a nice, easy one. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals in our AFC North introduction video. So until next time, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, our mateys. Thank you for watching. Now fire the cannons in the bakers.